I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump is rolling out a new defense. It may be the most idiotic defense yet in connection with special counsel Jack Smith's criminal case filed in the Southern District of Florida. Now that we've all heard the infamous audio tapes of July 2021, where ghostwriters who are writing Mark Meadows' autobiography visit Donald Trump at Bedminster, and Donald Trump shows them classified records, war plans relating to Iran, and says, "Isn't this cool? Doesn't this make me better than the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley? Isn't this super cool?" I mean, that's what Donald Trump was saying to these people. Donald Trump's new defense right now is called the bravado defense. And Donald Trump is saying that was just bravado. I wasn't really showing them anything. I was just showing a stack of papers and I was bragging about it. I want to explain to you why this defense is incomprehensible. But first, let's take a look at where Donald Trump is saying that. This is a new article from Semaphore by Shelby Talcott. The article is called "It Was Bravado. Trump Says He Actually Wasn't Holding Up Classified Documents in the 2021 Meeting." In the audio where he says, "Look, I'm holding up classified documents right now. Take a look at it. Isn't this cool?" He's saying that actually didn't happen. And Donald Trump, here's what the article says about Donald Trump. It says, former President Donald Trump insisted on Tuesday he was not showing off classified documents in an audio clip first published by CNN, which he referred to, quote, highly confidential material and, quote, secret information that he could no longer declassify. Quote, "I would say it was bravado. If you want to know the truth, it was bravado," Trump said in an interview aboard his plane with Semaphore and ABC News. Quote, "I was talking and just holding up papers and talking about them, but I had no documents. I didn't have any documents." The latest comments suggested a new potential legal argument for Donald Trump that he was overselling the material he was showing to an aide and people working on a biography of former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows in the recording, a transcript of which featured heavily in his recent federal indictment. Quote, "I just held up a whole pile of, my desk is loaded with papers. I have papers from 25 different things," he said, adding he kept relevant news articles about topics like Iran on hand. At one point, Trump gestured to the seat next to him on his plane, where a stack of various papers, newspapers, copies of speech printouts, and articles sat. He grabbed some from the pile and placed them in front of him, moving them around as he spoke and offering up a physical reenactment of what he said was occurring on the audio tape. Asked about his use of the word plans during a Fox News interview earlier on Tuesday to describe some items he may have highlighted in the 2021 meeting, Trump insisted he was referring to building plans and plans for golf courses strewn about his desk. Quote, "Did I use the word plans?" he said. "What I'm referring to is magazines, newspapers, plans of buildings. I had plans of buildings, building plans. I had plans of a golf course." Asked if he had any regrets about his handling of classified documents, Trump said he did not. Quote, "No, I have no regrets. I didn't have classified document. There was no classified document on my desk." Asked whether the audio would affect whether he considers a plea deal, Trump said he was confident that the government's use of the Espionage Act to prosecute him would fail, and repeated unverified accusations against President Biden before ending the interview. "Frankly, that you even ask a question like that is a disgrace, so let's end it." By the way, I thought it was a well-written article there by Semaphore, not publishing Donald Trump's defamatory and false statements and essentially calling him out here. But it was bravado. "I wasn't really showing classified records" defense is just simply not going to hold up. I'll explain why, if it's not obvious, in just a moment. But let me play for you the clip that was referenced in this interview. This is a clip from earlier in the day on Tuesday. Donald Trump was in New Hampshire speaking to the New Hampshire Republican Women's Club, and he spoke with Fox Digital. And here Donald Trump is saying after the interview that he had a whole desk full of lots of papers and mostly newspaper articles, copies of magazine, copies of different plans, which he now says are plans for golf courses. So according to Donald Trump, when he was saying, look at these plans, doesn't this show that I am better than Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley? He was referring to his golf plans. Here, play this clip.
And I said it very clearly. I had a whole desk full of lots of papers and mostly newspaper articles, copies of magazines, copies of different plans, copies of stories having to do with many, many subjects. And what was said was absolutely fine and very, very perfectly. We did nothing wrong. This is a whole hoax.
And I'll just show you this other clip from the interview, too, where the Fox interview said, are you concerned about your voice on the audio recording? And Trump's response is, my voice was fine. Here, play this clip.
You're not concerned then with your own voice on those recordings?
My voice was fine. What did I say wrong on those recordings? I didn't even see the recording. All I know is I did nothing wrong. We had a lot of paper stacked up. In fact, you could hear the rustle of the paper, and nobody said I did anything wrong, other than the fake news, which of course is Fox too.
Okay, so let's think about Donald Trump's defense for a second. Okay, he goes, it was bravado. I wasn't actually showing people anything. Now, special counsel Jack Smith has conducted dozens of interviews. He's had dozens of witnesses go before the grand jury in Washington, D.C. before filing the case. There were lots of people in that room. Donald Trump's aide, Margot Martin, was the person who recorded Donald Trump, and Donald Trump was aware of the recording. It wasn't a surreptitious recording during this July 2021 meeting. Also present at the meeting were the two individuals who were ghostwriting the book for Mark Meadows. You got Trump, you had other staffers, you had multiple people who were there. Okay, special counsel Jack Smith would have spoken at this point to multiple people in that room. And special counsel Jack Smith would have gotten the cooperation of people in that room because they may now be complicit in a crime. So special counsel Jack Smith would have asked them, can you describe the document that he showed you? Did it have any special colored borders? Did it say classified on it? Did it say top secret on it? What do you recall about the document? And the thing with Donald Trump, constant lying and lying and lying and lying. Then they just change the lie, new lie. Just every single day, it's a lie after lie. This may work in front of the MAGA Republican base, but this stuff doesn't work in a court of law because it's simply lie after lie. Like, you remember when the search warrant was executed at Mar-a-Lago on August 8, 2022, everything that they basically said, all the lies, and they tried out everything. They were like, first, we never even received a search warrant in the first place. And then they showed up and they never even told us who they were. And then they planted the evidence there. And, they went through each one of these ridiculous excuses and iterations. And then Donald Trump's like, well, it's mine. These were my records in the first place. It was just a lie. The stories just change every single time because all he does is spew lies. And here, this new idea that I wasn't actually showing classified records. I was just holding up a stack of paper and lying and pretending that I had these records that I was describing, but it actually wasn't what the records were. Special counsel Jack Smith's spoken to the people in the room. He knows what those documents are. These people can describe those documents to him. And also, it speaks to the fact that Donald Trump was just taking documents with him around from Mar-a-Lago to Bedminster to all of his properties, just, taking these boxes that did not belong to him with classified records and bragging about them and showing them off to people. And it goes ultimately to his intent. The recording also goes to the fact that he recognized that he didn't have the power to declassify the records anymore. He states that he did not declassify these records and they remain classified. So it shows that he knows classification and when he can classify and not declassify. And it ultimately goes to that at the end of the day. And so I don't know, this defense is sure to backfire again. We'll hear from these other witnesses at this point. And here's the thing too, Donald Trump knows who the witnesses are against him. Undoubtedly, those people in the room are on Special Counsel Jack Smith's witness list, but Donald Trump doesn't care. Just lie. And this one is just so brazenly idiotic. And it's sure to backfire. It's just shocking that there are people, these MAGA Republicans, who listen to this crap and believe it and buy it. But here you got people like this on one of these right-wing channels who say stuff like this. Here, play the clip.
Former president.
And just to make clear,
I could say this is a classified document. Doesn't make it true. You know how Trump is. We don't know. We don't know if it's if what
we can even.
Wow. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, wherever you get audio podcasts. Subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Have an excellent day. Hit subscribe right now.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.meidastouch.com. That's store.meidastouch.com.